Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Euganie, aka Pretty Stushy, and this video is going to be on a Stushy Soft Glam on my good friend. I'm going to basically take you through the process. If you're interested in seeing how this look came out, please stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I post a video. See you guys. Okay, so we're going to start off with hand sanitizer. Of course, for any makeup look that you do when you're doing someone else's makeup, especially, you want to start off with some hand sanitizer. A little bit for me, a little bit for her. So we're going to start off moisturizing the face, and we're going to use the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream moisturizing face lotion, and we're just going to apply this evenly throughout the face. Most important thing is applying it evenly. You want to make sure that all areas of the face the product is evenly distributed. So to prime the face, we're going to be using the Tasha the Silk Canvas face primer, and I really do like this. This is very smoothing. It's really how do I say this? It's really silky. So we're going to use this primarily as our primer today. So I'm just using some translucent setting powder. This is a Laura Mercier translucent powder, just to get that in the brow. There's a product that I actually want to use for this part, but I don't have it as yet. So hopefully in the next video I'll have it. But for now, we're just going to mattify the brows using some translucent powder in that area, so that way we have it nice. Using the Benefit Brow Pencil in number 5, and that is what I'm only using primarily for the eyebrows today. So for the brows, I'm going to start from the middle where the arch would naturally be and work my way towards the end. And I kind of just start at the bottom first, and then I work my way up to the top. I'm going to be honest with you guys in this video. I'm like the biggest perfectionist ever. So when I rewatch certain things, I see things that I would like to change. So with her brows, they came out good. However, for a next video, I want them to be a little bit different. I was not really 100% satisfied with the way the brows came out. And it's not till I rewatched it that I realized that I would have kind of tweaked it a little bit. But anyway, so you want to just kind of do strokes inside of the brow area. I don't really like a heavy brow. I'm not concerned about the color of it right now, because if it's too dark, you always can lighten it with the powder when you're finishing up the face. When we get to the front of the brow, we just kind of want to make upward strokes in the direction that the hair grows, and use your brush to make sure you're brushing out any harsh lines, or kind of brushing the brow pencil, like meshing it in with the brow itself. Okay, so we're going to be using the NARS concealer in medium dark 1.5, and that e.l.f. concealer was in deep chestnut, and we're just going to use that to clean up under the eye. And did I go over? Yeah, I did go over the eye. No, this is not like a normal routine for me. I've changed the way I do brows a little bit, but I kind of wanted her brows to really be shaped in this look. So we're just going to use that to clean up underneath the eye and above the top of the eye. So what we're going to do is, once you have it outlined, you're just going to bring that product down a little bit onto the eye. If you want to use it as a base, you can. I know I'm going to apply some more afterwards, so I'm just going to get at least underneath the eye nice and sharp, and whatever remaining product I'll blend down into the eye itself. Okay, so to line the top of the eyebrow, I'm going to be using the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in Chai. Okay, so I'm just taking a brush to blend underneath the eye very carefully. The type of brush you use, just be careful that you don't get the hairs touching into the brow, because then you'll start to see like that crispness. You'll lose it because it'll kind of like blur it out a little bit. So just kind of be careful. Just want to blend it down, blend out the edges, making sure that it's nicely blended for ease of transition into the foundation. Okay, so to set the brow for the first time, we're going to use the Anastasia by Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Okay, so this is the Derma Blend Cover Cream in olive brown, and you're going to use that underneath the eyes. Her under eyes actually aren't that bad, but I don't know, I wanted to be extra and use the product. So this is just going to be something to just really prevent anything from kind of like peeking through. You can cover under eye and it looks okay, but sometimes you just kind of feel like a little grayness coming through, and I love this product because it just completely eliminates the thought of that even happening. So just using a fluffy eye brush to kind of put that underneath the eye as close as possible, just in the area that you normally would highlight. Okay, so I'm going to use foundations, the Lancome foundation in 520 Suede W, and the NARS in, what color is that? The NARS in New Caledonia. So the NARS is a little darker, and that's the one I'm starting with first on the perimeter of her face. And then as I finish up with that, I'm going to go on the inside of the face with the Lancome foundation. And in case you haven't noticed, everything is a pattern motion, honey. Okay, so I'm going to go on with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Deep, and we're going to use this first as a concealer that's closer to the skin tone that kind of mesh well into the foundation, and then I'm going to go on top of it with the e.l.f. concealer that we originally used in her brow. I'm not sure if I went in with the NARS one as well, but you can do that if you really want the under eye to be a little bit brighter. Alright, so we're going to use the AJ Crimson Artist Kit, the color in the middle right there, to contour. She actually probably needed a little bit of a darker color, so I did end up mixing a little bit of the darker color next to it with that color just to darken it up a little bit. And we're just going to start in the cheek area and kind of lift it up a little bit. into the cheekbone. So I'm going to be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray to just spray that concealer before we blend it out, because this is the e.l.f. concealer mixed in with this, so you know that sucker dries a little fast. But anyways, if you do find that it's a little difficult to blend out, just add a teensy bit of concealer to the beauty blender as you're blending out. And of course, I'm using my favorite beauty blender, the e.l.f. Cosmetics beauty blender, which is so freaking like soft. I bought a bunch of them, so I have a collection for days. So right now what we're doing is basically blending out the edges of the concealer from the under eye before we go into the under eye itself. Notice that I do also have my foundation brush in my hand. So these are going to be used together along with the beauty blender to ensure that things are blending seamlessly. So you will see I will take the foundation brush to just kind of blend the edges of what I am doing together, like blend the concealer with the contour with the foundation, whatever it is. We just kind of want to not have any harsh lines, and so you kind of have to go back and forth between the two until you're satisfied with the result that you see. So you just want to go over the brows with the foundation brush just to make sure that we do not have a highlight or halo going on there, and just get it as close as possible and be as careful as you can. To contour the nose, we're using ABH's Stick Foundation in the color Ebony, and just using a little bit of a slight like a flat, slightly fluffy brush, like a fluffy flat brush, if that makes sense. To do that, you just want to get real close to the middle of the nose, or the area by the eyes. If you notice, most of the product is going to go where the area by the eyes is, right there. You're going to place most of it there, and then you're going to use the rest to blend up and down into the nose, and just get as close to the tip of the middle of the nose as possible, because the goal is to create that narrowness right there. So to set the entire face today, I'm going to be using the Derma Blend Translucent Powder, and this is going to be a powder that I use to set the entire face first. So this is a technique that I am incorporating right now based on a class that I took the other day, which I'll do a video on that sometime later. But you basically want to just press the powder into the skin. You kind of use like a nice little fluffy ovalish type of brush. When you do put it into the powder, you kind of want to knock it off and kind of still like shake it off a little bit, so that way you're not applying so much at once. You want to have control, and you have more control when you apply it in layers. So I'm just kind of pressing and like doing that press and roll motion, and we're just going over the entire face. So now we're going to take the MAC Dark Tan Mineralized Skin Finish powder, and we're going to use that in the very center, the center of the face, basically the areas where the face is generally lighter, the highlighted areas, I should say. And we're just going to use that to kind of set that area, and we're going to also use the Sephora Deep Micro Smooth Powder to set the perimeter, the outer perimeter of the face, basically the foundation and just all other areas of the face, including the neck. This is also another technique I took from that class, and just kind of setting the face pretty good. You're not using a whole lot at one time. You're kind of building up, not necessarily building it up, you just want to make sure that you have a good amount of coverage. So I'm using the Luscious by Lynn Butternut Beige setting powder to set underneath the eye. This is the first time I'm using this powder. The first thing we're going to do is remove the creases, and I'm using a dry beauty blender to apply the powder underneath the eye. A technique that I also learned was to have your model look up as you're blending out the creases and also have them stay looking up while you apply the setting powder as well. And basically they just keep your eyes looking up so that way they don't look down and the creases start to like appear before it's set. And then we're just going to set the rest of the highlighted areas of the face and just kind of blend that in. So I'm adding some Laura Mercier translucent powder underneath the eye just so we can have something in place because we're about to start the eye look, and in case there's any fallout we have something there. Also bring the powder up closer into the nose area to really snatch that nose a whole lot. Okay, so I'm just using the tips of the NARS concealer that we had originally used in the eyebrow, blending that out just to make sure that the eye is ready for any eyeshadow and that we do not have like any severe darkness peeking through, which we don't. She has pretty good skin. All right, so I'm using the hashtag color, that slightly yellow orangey color there, from the Violet Voss Pro palette, and we're just kind of using that and starting it off. This is going to work into our transition color as well. I was trying a new technique with the eyeshadow as well, and it was going okay. I think for the next time I'm going to just incorporate a little bit of what I do along with this technique, which was just kind of like to just, what was this technique? This technique was more like, I don't do a lot of swiping because how I was taught before was to basically place the product and then use other eyeshadows that you're going to be using in the look to kind of blend it out. So this was a little bit going back to how I used to do eyeshadow in the beginning, but now I've gotten so used to the other way that I kind of forgot how to do it this way. So it was like a little bit of a learning curve. Then I'm going back in with a color from the ABH Modern Renaissance palette, and the color is Red Ochre, and that's what we're using in the crease to kind of build that color. So this whole process is going to be a little back and forth. It's going to have me going in with both of these colors a couple times just until I see what I like. This is a soft look, so it didn't require it to be like super pow, you know, it just needed to have like a nice soft blend, but we still kind of wanted to see the individual colors. So I'm going back in with the Violet Voss palette, and I'm using the color Teddy Bear to kind of add a little bit more darkness in the outer corner of the eye. And I'm really sorry I didn't show it. I don't know what happened. I must have deleted it by accident. Yeah, so we're just kind of like adding that in very lightly, and we're gonna still go back in with the other colors as well because you don't want to lose those colors. You just kind of want to play around with it until you see what you like. Alright, so I'm going in with the color Primavera from the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. I was not playing with this editing, boy. I did not even show these palettes to y'all, but you know what I mean. So we're just kind of patting it in. I'm using a flat brush and just kind of like patting it in little by little. This is the first layer of shimmer that I am applying, and this was a look that I literally was making up as I went along. So you know, there's some products I was trying to use to give me some shimmer. They wasn't giving me what I wanted, so oh, there I go. Now I show it. So there goes the two products, Color Pop, that I was trying to decide between the two of what I was going to use, and they kind of wasn't doing the job for me. One thing about those Color Pop, they dry up, honey, so you got to be careful. So then I ended up going to Stila, and we just kind of applied that over top. She was drying out on me too, child. She cost quite some money to dry up real quick. Anyway, so we just kind of put that on top. If you're interested in which one exactly I use, just let me know in the comment bar down below, because right now I'm too lazy to get up. Then I topped that with a J. LaRue Cosmetics pigment. basically this one I believe is Lemonade. I just kind of tap that over the eye look as well. So you see I went through different phases of shimmer, child, because it was hard for me to find the payoff that I was looking for. Like I didn't need it to be boom bam shimmering, but I needed like a little bit of a glistening. So then I'm also going back in with that red ochre color from the ABH palette, just kind of mesh everything in together. And eventually I'll also go back in a little bit with the darker color. I didn't show it, but I will. So those are the lashes that I am using today. Brushing away the powder that we used originally before we apply those lashes, and that way we can start to finish up the rest of the face. I forgot to mention I'm using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark Tan to brush away the powder. You just kind of want to have something there just as a little bit of an extra layer in case you brush away product, which you shouldn't. Then I'm using my Inglat gel, what is it, the number 77 I think, and I'm using that to do my liner for the brow. It won't be a wing liner, it would just be a regular liner right now. So I'm using the Zulu by Juvia's Place palette, that color right there where my finger's lightly tapping on, and I'm going to use that to warm up the face. I got this trick from Kiki Adams and I love it because it's just a right color for like dark skin tones. It just adds such a nice warmth to the skin. So I'm going to apply that in the area that the contour was in. Alright, to darken up the contour, we're going to use that color Chocolate, which was that really dark color by the Deuce by Juvia's palette. And I'm just adding that in. It is strong, so just kind of be light with it. So I just kind of like place it and then I end up blending it and more towards the ear, Gonna use Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami to further bronze up the face today. I love this color. It is so beautiful on dark skin tones. Sometimes I use it on myself, even though I don't need to be using it, but I don't care. I want to be bronzed, honey. So I really, really love this, just to add some more warmth to the face. This is the MAC Faux Shore Extra Dimension blush that I'm going to use. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm biased. Like, I literally use this blush on every single person. Everybody. Like, I use this blush all the time. It's my favorite brush. It has a slight shimmer to it. I do believe they have other colors, but I don't know. I've been stuck on this one, but I'm really loving it. So just going to add that into the cheek area. So we're doing the under eye now, and as you can see, I'm just using a little bit of a tissue. This is a little trick that I learned from a class that I took before as well. You just want to place it there. It kind of like allows you to go ham with the eyeshadow underneath the eye without worrying about fallout. And you just kind of want, once you remove it, you want to brush off the brush you're using a little bit and then blend it out. So I'm going back in with basically the colors I use in the top of the eye. I'm basically using those. This is a NARS liner, which I had and never used. And I was just kind of like going through my makeup. I'm like, let me see what I got here that I could use. And I love it. I love it. If you want to know exactly what color it is, just let me know. I'll let you know in the comment bar down below. Just lining the waterline and the edge of the outer area of her eye as well. Then we're going to add some more powder. We're using the Sephora, the same Sephora powder that we used to set the external part of the face. We're going to use that to kind of like really set the contour in place. It's not super dark. It's just like adding a slight hint of color, but not like, oh my god, like completely Shadowville on her nose. Okay. So after spraying the face, you're going to take our foundation brush and press everything in very gently Also going to spray the brush that I used to take away the translucent powder underneath the eye, so we can set the eye area as well. I want to make sure that underneath there is not too dry. So this is the Laura Mercier Face Illuminator in Indiscretion, and I'm going to be using this as my first highlighter for the face. So the next highlighter I'm using is from Stila, and it's the Heaven's Hue highlighter in Magnificence, and this is going to be my second layer highlighter. So this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Prosecco Pop, and this will be my third highlighter. I'm just blending everything in, meshing it in with the blush, just to kind of make sure it looks all good together. She's feeling herself. So we're gonna start with the lips, and we're using the Jante Blue lip liner. I don't remember where I got this from. I think this was sent to me in something, because I definitely didn't purchase this on my own. So we're just gonna line the lip, and we're not doing nothing too crazy. We're gonna do a nice little lip and call it a day. Okay, so this is the completed look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to show some footage that I took on my cell phone. This is with the flash on, so as you can see, we have no flashback. She's looking gorgeous. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please comment down below and let me know. I didn't get to like really explain everything, but I'm thinking of doing some little webinars really soon, so if you'd be interested, let me know, where I could really like break things down and the process and all of that. In the meantime, don't forget to check out the other videos that I have already up and about, and also don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.